on
be
Sundays.
a word. It gotta be a word. It sounded beautifully.
It did. It was fire.
It flew.
That's a song, Observative.
I was gonna let it slide, and then he pulled it out. I was
Yeah,
like,
I can't help it. I just grabbed this shit out of clear air. Observative, bro. And I'm gonna use it throughout the podcast.
Bet.
That we gonna make it a real thing. Niggas gonna hashtag Observative.
Yeah.
But you gotta make the song like how they did with that entanglement. You have to make Observative. It's a song. But so, right in the middle, I was explaining to Pete, we was having a conversation about the music business. And we're talking about Quincy Jones, Dr. Dre. And Meetro, shout out to Dre, because Dre listened to the podcast. What's up, nigga? Good looking. But Meetro thinks I'm a bit too high on Dr. Dre. Right? And I mean, it's not no credit, because it's not like saying you don't think Dr. Dre is not.
It's an interesting way to say Dre listens to the podcast and then go throw him under the oncoming Metro bus.
Bro,
he wouldn't think that was. He wouldn't think that was.
Shout out to New Legends. You know what I'm saying?
He wouldn't.
The whole idea.
But Doc don't think, bro. This nigga beat battle Dr. Dre one time. Fuck what he talking about. We'll talk about that later. It's a whole nother.
Well, we know
conversation.
whose project's not getting funded by any sort of Dre-backed enterprises now.
That's not true. That's not true. No, it's. I'm not saying that you're not saying Dre is not the GOAT. Like Magic is a GOAT,
Yeah, of course.
right? But you feel like I'm too high on certain talents, and you feel like it's because I grew up watching them.
Mm-hmm.
And really, for me, that's probably the word. Like, that's not true.
We all sensationalize who we saw as kids and stuff. Allen Iverson was my GOAT. I saw him get drafted when I was 13. There's you think that's random? There ain't no nigga who's 60 years old. Like
That's
my favorite
definitely
players.
some nostalgia bias there. My
Yeah,
God.
what?
I'm
Iverson
saying-
is a GOAT.
I'm saying.
Like, what, he had the best braids in the NBA, the greatest
No, I'm
braids of all
saying
time.
when you
He
say
started
GOAT,
the
there's
right
only really
arm
one,
shoulder
but there
slinger.
are other GOATs within
And
industry.
professionals.
Kobe is a GOAT. Is he the best player ever? No.
Is he the
We
best
know
at his
that.
position?
The idea
No,
that now there's a
Michael
herd
Jordan
of goats
is.
for
No.
a superlative description is problematic at best.
Okay, we know that there is only one singular when you're being for real.
No,
What?
I think that's wrong.
We're
But-
always
but-
being for real here at
Okay.
No Ceilings.
You are okay.
I think in the
People
team
speak of a lot of
professional
people as a
sport.
GOAT, right?
But listen.
And
before
today,
before we get
No
through all,
bastardization.
because we finna get through off with some basketball
No,
shit.
no, we're not. Go
We
finish.
gonna wait.
Finish with
But
Dre.
so I was saying, right, that Dr. Dre, right, he feels I'm a bit hot. Don't get me wrong, he understands the brilliance of Dr. Dre. We've had this conversation. He knows Dre is brilliant and probably the guy, at the top level. But the respect I have for him is different because I understand the job of a record producer completely different than even him or a lot of people in the business. And I understand how hard it is to break a new artist. Like, producers, to me, Meetro make music. So not only is he a label owner like Puff, he makes music like Puff, right? They make music and they run a label and they engineer and they do all of this stuff. So him as a producer, right? I notice when I listen to producers, him or different ones, it's about just hits for them. Hits. Who got the hits? Mm-hmm. For me, right, as an artist or as a music exec, the goal is to have a producer who could break multiple artists. Mm-hmm. Can you give somebody their first hit record? Whoever that person is the most valuable person in the music industry. Mm-hmm. Or excuse me, in the record industry. That person who could give different artists their first hit record, you the greatest thing going. And when you name Dr. Dre, like I'm saying, he gave hits to.
It's key you say first hit record.
First, because that's the most important thing.
Because like even if you think of the Neptunes and Britney Spears, they already had hits.
It was,
you know what I mean?
What's the white boy cold as hell? Max Martin already broke that.
Who gave Britney Spears Sometimes I'll Run? Who produced that?
What about that weird old creepy guy who looks like he may be kind of registered, who broke all those boy bands out of Orlando?
I don't know. That's the white shit. What just happened?
He looks like maybe he has to tell the neighbors when he moved into a neighborhood. I don't know. I don't know the guy. I don't live in that neighborhood.
It's Orlando. Anyway, back to the last part.
No. Look. So Dr. Dre in the 80s, right? First hit records, right? Michelet first hit record. Eazy-E first hit record. NWA first hit record. DOC first hit record. That's insane. That's in the 80s, right? Then in the 90s, right, he gives himself a hit record.